12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Holy shit, negative time! But yes, fuck the intro. Right there. That's it. Only 1,461 games right here. I of course still also have it right here. Drive to Jump, Jam version. 20 hours before the deadline. And now it's time for us to improve on this. On this a lot. It needs improvements all over the place. Let me just close many of these tabs. I totally forgotten to do this. Right there, done, and music. Right here. Yes, Goshi. So. Right there, also from the Braggies community. We got more than 1,400 entries. Right on it now. Oh, damn it. Oh, I didn't make it to get the. I didn't make it to get Dannebro på. Get Dannebro på. Damn, I'm talking Danish. In English stream. Well, anyways, I haven't even said welcome everyone. But yeah, anyways, welcome everyone. Today, we are improving the game in a few ways. So last night, not only was I sick, but I also split the repo up into two things. So now, there's two repos. Right here. And the Wi-Fi was down, damn. There are now two repos, one public, one private. There's this one. This is the game version. No, it will never be changed, actually. We just do one thing. Archive. I understand the consequences of archiving this. Done. Now will never be... Yeah, that's now read-only. This will never be touched. That's the jam version. And now we got this version. Drive to Jump, this is a private repo. Just so I can do development. I finally picked out a name for the engine and also done a lot of cleanup. And some other things that I've also done is to make my own types. I remember how fucking how much I hate that. Yeah, anyways. That's what I've been slowly but surely doing. Moving things, and doing a whole bunch of things. So right now, the core game is gone. There's no game. But what I do have is a Ginsam duck. Why did I leave it? It must have been 2 seconds. I never usually do fucking emojis, but apparently I wanted to do that here. Oh, I think I was fucking sleep deprived and also just sick. Done. Yeah, so what is this game? This game is a fast-paced, momentum-based puzzle platformer. Yes, a puzzle platformer. Meaning that everything will have to do with momentum and to do. Some other things that we also need to do is to first of all also move this one into here, and then remove the toolset. That was clunky. It wasn't good at all. Having everything in one engine instead of a framework, an abstraction layer on top of the framework, and then the engine. It's just better to have the framework and then engine. And also, by the way, I'm still a little bit sick. And I thought also I would go home and visit my family, but no. The buses here in Denmark are like the trains in Germany. Right, okay. Let me just give you an example without doxing myself. Right now, the bus that should have been on is in the city of Holstebro. Right. It's in the city of Holstebro. Now let me see if I can do this without doxing myself, actually. If I go onto that account, and then nothing is here. So if we look at Denmark, here we have Herning, here we have Holstebro. I live in this area up here. There's a few kilometers from here to there. It's down here. My bus. And travels across these two cities. Yeah, Danish buses. Yeah. But anyways, also some things that I've also done. Yeah, of course, to make my own types and whatnot. In the form of a vector 4, vector 3, vector 2. Time, a size, a float, a size integer, a rectangle, floats, a rectangle integer, point, floats, a 2-pointed float, and a 2-pointed integer. Even though they are pretty much just in like vectors, but we don't say that. And I've also gone around and renamed everything and translated all the things, different things that we needed. But anyways, I think it's time to redo the fucking rendering system. It is long overdue, and it's just, yeah, it's just a bit all over the place. Things don't talk to each other, and yeah. So yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's first of all make this layer into a layer mask. This layer mask here is, yeah, this. Actually, I probably should make it into a type. Maybe no. But what I will do is to make an eye executable, which makes this be public to anything. And then we need some way to do compare. Comparable? I think. Ah, damn. Yeah, so we will compare to the indexes. Don't I have an explicit int? Apparently not. Public static explicit string int layer mask value.index. You literally can be made into an int. Okay. And let us also layer registry add layer name id options dimensions is there else it is a pretty. Is static. And now these ones, they don't do anything now. Oh. Fun fact, you just have it right here. Layer mask, layer, that index, options, dimensions equals to there, options there. If it's 2D, okay. Okay, so only two references now, there and there. And now we don't need this anymore, which is always good. Okay. Yeah, that should now all work. There's one thing that we got separated from now. Finally. Okay. Let us actually change a bit in the commands, I think. Because we need to do something with... I want to get shaders working also at some point. Maybe not now, but at some point, yeah. Okay. So... Okay. Oh. Anyways. So we sort by the layer. Then we sort by the depth. There'll probably be more here at some point, but yeah. The render context has the device, the sprite, the quad renderer, Apex 2 for the camera position, pixel texture, circle texture, the view matrix, and projection matrix. Just so we don't have to calculate those by hand. And do all this. Like, I want this to be still somewhat the same. I think I want to do it. Like, all this somewhat the same. Yeah, I think that... Yeah, so now the renderer only does rendering things. Rendering related things. How many actually uses this? Can I see that? Nope, okay. Okay. So... Right, yeah, I also ripped everything out in the engine. So that is also one thing that we have to make again. Can I maybe do this? Just so I don't have a wire like just everywhere. Okay. So yeah, let us do... I don't even think I've zoomed in today. Okay, so let's have a load command. And whatever we have from game 1, we pretty much only need things from game 1. Of course, graphics and sprite. Probably. But else, the content manager. That's from game. Game window, that's from game. That's it. So let's redo this one. Yeah, right there. And also I have also ripped nearly everything out of here. So we need a way to load things easily. We need to load things easily. Yeah. And also, I don't think I want to have the engine itself just right here in the entities. We want to have a thing like we want to have an engine context. I think I want to have in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, all that there. We already have an editor context. All right, yeah. What if we just renamed this to be an engine context instead? And that's how different subsystems of the engine will get information. Yeah. Yeah, this engine context here will now be the... yeah, pretty much the heart and soul of everything. Whatever gets this engine context is pretty much a subsystem of the engine. Yeah. And then we also have this, which we also have this input system here. I want this thing, these files here, to actually be the subsystem to the engine, but then have this be the thing that like entities, for example, see and whatnot. Yeah, that means making everything possible internal. Yeah, because then we don't need actions here. Because we'll be having actions in here. So it's pretty much an extraction layer on top of an extraction layer, which is not too expensive actually. Well, let's implement input first. Or what to see? Wait to see this. It would actually probably be the best idea to actually implement rendering first. Yeah. Okay, let's implement rendering first then. The rendering subsystem. Why didn't that work? No results. I will fucking show you no results. replace. I guess like this, okay. Then now we're technically on even foot. The renderer context here, and then the other things. Yeah. Rendering subsystem. Graphics device, and then we can throw the rendering system. Why did you because of caps lock? Okay. I want to do that, but okay. Render system equals rendering system. A render system, yes. Now that should be covered now. Keyword on should. Yeah. Okay, let's throw this one here. Add layer with a name. Create layer with a name, an ID, and then a renderer dimensions, and ask if is static equals false. Dimensions is static, yeah. Why don't I just like have this one? That's just easier. Dimensions, just dimension, fuck. And there. Now I can just like do this. Yeah. And now at least also have a function now within the engine to add layers. The add layer is just, for example, make a ground layer. Add layer 0. This will be a 2D layer. And it will be static. Then we'll have a player layer. Again 2D, and it will not be static. That's how it goes now. Then after adding all the things that you need, then you can call engine.start. Also in here, we want to do engine.load. In here, we want to do engine.update and give it date time. And like this. Now in theory, like the engine should actually be like just hooked up now. Then let's make these entities. Actually, let's make these ones right here. Let's call these ones game objects. What is a game object? A game object is an entity it's pretty much just a wrapper for an object. Yeah, it will have a transform for movement and a bunch of other functions. But I will not have anything in here except for maybe initialization functions. The game object and now we have something that looks like a game now, or a game engine thing, kinda. Two objects, a player object and a world object. And that's it. That is all you need. That's all I need, at least, for these kind of things. Now, I have taken very much inspiration from Unity, for example, because that's pretty much the only engine Dan knew back in the day when I still actually made games. So a game object has everything that we said that we has. Yeah, for example, yeah, we also need to still add tags, but a layer has layers, as a start, has start functions. Now, could I access an API reference here? That there's a constructor and all of these things and then static things Static methods, static, huh? Oh, inherited methods. Inherited members. And operators. Yeah. Yeah, we do it a little bit differently. We have all the component-based things in as inherited things. Because that just makes it easier. And also, I even also think actually like GameObject is technically a component in Unity. But we don't care about that. Messages. Pretty much events. Inherited things. GameObject. I think these are from GameObject. Transform at least. Yeah, some other things. Properties did start, did it? Ooh. I didn't even know these two events were here. Damn. In the area when the model behavior component is activated through checkbox inspector. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So a game object, in our case, I think also want to have some events kind of things. But also still be able to... Okay, I can't make it abstract. So I'll have to make it... What the fuck? Why won't autocomplete work? I think I'll have to make these like virtuals. Alright, yeah, because you can't do it there. Good morning. They're protected. Let's see, can I make it? I don't think I can, damn it. I would love to if I could, but yeah, I can't. Then object. Yeah, it's our entity pretty much. Yeah. It's the base class for all built-in Unity objects. Yes. So yeah. This is the thing. Kinda. What if I make... What if I do not make this like abstract and make both of these functions virtual? Right? And then after here... No wait, because I couldn't make this abstract. Need to remember that. Public virtual void start Hmm. Hmm. What if I do this? Remove this. Ooh. Yeah. Entity start. Entity update. Then we have a whole bunch of functions there. Or another thing that we also could do. No, because an entity can't check for anything. But what we can then do is to make some functions in the entity class that then other functions then need to derive, need to have for everything to work. Such as a start function, an update function, and instead of calling all of these, each of one of these, let's make an protected virtual void call event internal enum. This could, for example, be all of these. They're on, collision, enter, stay, exit, and on exit. On level loaded. Sorry. Okay. Then all of these we could then have in here. But then all right from I should also probably have into event rams object arc yeah. The base call it first, then have that. Then the glades function nullable equals to on this one. Because oh wait 2 seconds. Because here we have Should we just call it immediately? Get the argument and then call it immediately. I'm actually also thinking a little bit in like in the future. Yeah, this one is then on day and on exit, and then this one is then int level. Add cast on level was loaded. This can get ugly fast, but I kind of don't ever have any solutions to. Well, actually, wait, two things I do, for fuck's sake. I could make a private void call function accepting types, then accepting functions, and then an arg1. Then we wanna do, why did I call this one functions? Only function. And then dynamic invoke there. Then oh damn. Then the function that we then need to call plus how can we make this work? If we, for example, call function here, and let's say type of game object, can this work? Nope, it actively needs to be like this. So we can't just dynamically, or actually can we? Was actually called a function with type generic dynamic call type of creator get method there, make generic method there, dot invoke with that one, and a new object 5. Maybe. That will then be type of game object
what did you say? Get method. Yeah. Make generic method. Then we need a. We need to type. For example, in one case, for example, type of collider. Then invoke with the object this, and then parameters. Such as, for example, null. The types here, and then in theory we already have the arguments there, so I should also probably actually no, I just think it's nope. Create instance of type list, make generic. Holy shit. Okay. The types, but to array. Then then object underscore args. We just renamed this only to underscore args. And then the first element that we need yeah, okay, 2 seconds. Actually, can we just like do it like this? So yeah, function and args. In some way, shape, form. And what else did you have? Okay, so what? No wait, this won't work. Fuck. Well, it was pretty fun to try to figure out, but yeah, it can't work. We'll have to do it in here. Sadly. I'll try to see what I can do about this, but don't get your hopes up, I guess. Well, maybe that's something that I could do. I don't know. Virtual void entity update. Virtual entity awake. So yeah. I've just actually realized this should be the other way around, these two. Protected void or protected override void here. There. There. Now we are referencing those. Then we can call those from here. Yeah, that should be it. At some point I will probably do something like, or maybe not, or should I maybe make it an interface? I don't know. We'll see about it. No errors still, great. Well, let's make a player object. Then give this a game object. Override start. Let's start Gucci. Then we actually just need to hook everything up. So in the engine, so now that we've gotten everything into here, is then for each. Don't I also have an entity here? No, I didn't. List of entities. This will be down here. Use explicit types. Then we can then entity start. meaning that that will then cascade down. Not be accessed. I guess then I'll nearly have to like do public? Question mark? What if I didn't know public? What if I do internal? But they need to be public, damn it. Okay. But anyways, we should get a hello world at least. Functional implements. Totally forgot that that wasn't implemented. Actually, can I nearly just simply say that just take this implementation of it. Damn. I didn't do that. There. Length squared, length. The x times x plus y times y. And that's it? Holy shit, I'm now fucking. Anyways. Here we are running different value names. Right here. Okay, good. Now we got a window. Okay, so now in here, if we do layer object in here, I hope the best. We did not get a hello world. That's because this one doesn't do anything. Okay. The entities there. There start. Yes. So I also want an entity myself in here called root entity. Add children there. That means that then parent here is there. Very much making a list going up. That's what I'm trying to do at least. That was in the layer masks. That's because of this. If the count is under, or actually let's make it the other way around, so it's a little bit more readable. Then we'll do invalid layer. If it's above or equals? Oh. Ah, right, yeah, for fuck's sake. Yeah, so that is because that, yeah, invalid layer. Do not initialize it. Layer. They're given. If value is above this, it's a fucking dictionary. Good morning, Bjorn. We don't use fucking count in dictionaries. We say contains key. Now, if that is not true, then we will do invalid layer. Right there. Holy shit. Yeah, we still get a hello world from yeah, hello. You guys can't even see that. Let's start. I just realized that, damn. Let us then do some graphics, sprites, and in game equals to game. Then these are the main three that pretty much like just get everything else from there. That's how Monogame has like just structured it, which I should kind of like. Now I think I want to have a thing that's kind of like load contents. Of course, make it virtual. That returns out a read only. Or was it list read only? Or was it? Yeah, we have read only memory and whatnot, but I'll just do this. Base will just return nothing because we don't need anything then. But if you were to need something, I need my what is that? What the fuck is that? Is there some extension that I didn't have accidentally deleted? Monogame for Visual Studio. Monogame for Visual Studio. It doesn't show up over here. Yeah, for reload window. Yeah. .NET tools restore. .NET tools run. Dash editor. Yes, squishy. I didn't mean to open that. Open another one. What is this, the one? Apparently, yeah. Okay. If we want to load this image, for example, just because it's there, then we can go into here. Then ask for it. Reload it. Now it's under textures. Textures, logo. We should actually probably give some more information. Nah. I'm going to regret that. Actually, yeah, we're going to give some more information. So we have this toolset here. Our content system. The content system only has 3 files: texture manager, a font manager, and a audio controller. We want each of these to be able to be loaded from and to. Feels so weird not to have a computer over here now. Damn. But anyways, we want them to be, yeah, loadable contents. Content. Just make a file like that, and then we will have a key, and then an content type. For example, a texture. We also, of course, want to have that. There, and this one. I also want to actually have an public loadable content. There, e contents texture, for example, here. That should have everything in it. Public virtual loadable content load entity load contents. Return an empty array. Load content right there. The list of loadable contents. Add range right there. And then we just need to sift through it. Yay! Fuck. Okay, what I'm thinking here is to make this a new thread. Right? Because how I think... No, wait 2 seconds. Maybe I should do this in start. Actually. Maybe I should run the start function in load contents. Like, so that we load contents first, then we start, and then we update. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's still up. Oh. Neat. Anyways. Yeah, make this into a new thread because... Yeah, we kind of need to do that. Ask load contents. So if this one is not complete, then wanna say get a waiter, get results, which will just sit here and just wait forever. That means that the start function, that will run like normal. No, 2 seconds, because yeah, it is only in the update methods that we actually need. Yeah, because we sometimes need contents in the update. It is mainly in the draw function because of textures and whatnot, but yeah, it also happens sometimes in the update function. equals to a new task. Now let's just test if this works. Because I don't trust in my own code. Such as there, for example. Yes. Okay, good, it works. Now we just need all the contents. We technically also need to reserve the engine context. Okay, fuck it. The engine context. This one will both have a content manager. But it will also have a field for content managers. In here, they'll, for example, be actually well done. Nope, they will not. Just like, then just put it here, I guess. Content managers. In this case, for example, a texture. Font manager. And others. Then we want to have a switch statement for the content type, or for example a texture. Then here the asset name. We also need to actually have the asset name. Layer. The sprite, for example. Then in this case, for example, key asset name. This will, so the reason why I do it in these different subclasses here is because then I have a cache for all of them. Then I have a cache in memory. And pretty much this is just like a test to check, do we actually have it? If we do not, then fun things will happen. Catch this one. Asset name didn't exist as the content type. This one want to have. Should we write as the error? Yeah, we should probably actually. I'll try to begin to write things as errors when they actually are errors. So that's one thing I'm trying to do at least. Loaded as a name to or as e loaded a content type asset name as e. I forget to actually call the function. No shit, it doesn't show up. Now know that if I run this, there will be an exception. Ah. Count me as surprised. Surprise Pikachu face. Content manager. Game. Content. Then all of these will be a part of a bigger engine content manager class, just so it's easier to actually like pump them out pretty much. And this will actually be a thing here, where T, yeah, it is actually T is a where T is a class, not just any class, but a sealed. Can't do that, damn it. So for example, here we have 4 sprite fonts. Why is this one called Game Jam Game? When it's not in Game Jam Game. That's why. I could do something stupid and also mildly fun. Rename all of it. .NET build everything. I don't care about Java or that. It detected the solution file. It's right now building every single project. It builds, runs through, checks through. Pushy. That now means that this one is wrong. Not still. We still need to define a. Oh, what was that called? That was called something. No shit, most things are called something. Where could I have defined it? Did I define it in Terminus? Yeah, I think Terminus. And if I do an nvim Terminus C# project, then here, yeah, root namespace. Okay. Root namespace. This tells the compiler and everything where we actually are. And you may also, you know what, let me just like do this. Throw jump. Oh, it should now work. Good. So, want to have a protected read-only dictionary for strings t's that we will call a registry. Then you will also have the content manager being content only have this where this happens. Base content, so we don't need that. We definitely want this to be abstract. So you can say abstract void load as a key with the asset. And then we also want a D get with the key. Alright. Alright. This means that we can now pump these out extremely quickly. And let's see how fast we can actually do it. The text to 2D. You are down. We need to base this right there. We technically don't even need you. We just need to say here. Here. Let's load. It's that one. We need to also actually initialize. Actually, that will be done in there, yeah. So we don't need to do that even. Remove key. Pose right now. Yes, of course, the same also here. Okay. 2 more functions. An abstract bool or if it exists. An abstract void to unload it. And then a private abstract void to unload all of them. Unloads all T's. In here, for example, if we now remove this one, Oh, okay. Remove all cached assets. Unloads a or an or a cached asset. Defined by the key. The key. The cached assets. The cached assets key unloads a why did I just remove shit? The rest of these I'll do later. But yeah. Then we just need a few more. And actually I think even I can make this as abstract. Actually yeah, let's really quickly do this. Find by the key from memory removes all cached assets from memory. Checks if an asset is loaded. But I actually think that we can make this as abstract or generic, as it would also be called. No, we can't, damn it. We can't make it like super generic. That's a little bit sad, but hey. We don't have it disposed at least, so that is good. But yeah. Now that is done right now. Now, what the fuck is the how the fuck did I put it all the way over here? Oh shit. Alright, anyways, how will this help me? It won't. Or at least very minimally it will help me. Actually, just say it outright, it won't help me at all. Yeah, it won't actually help me at all, so hey, that was good. Okay, so now okay, I also think I want to have a protected read-only dictionary from key to a key cache. What will this mean? This will be a cache. Wow, no shit. That states what key is to what asset. So yeah, if I say key here and then say asset here, we know that this key belongs to this asset. Meaning, if we have unloaded it, from memory. If get key, not get, but exists. If the key doesn't exist, then we will have a protected function to just and only load it in the key level. Meaning we'll need the asset, key cache, yeah, we don't need that. Protect it, then load here. If it doesn't contain, then we must new key not found, I guess, exception. Or maybe actually a resource just let me say, thank you. He was never loaded. Return. You're saying I guess so. If it does not exist, if it does not exist in the registry, then there's something wrong. Actually, maybe so texture key down was never loaded. Or has never been loaded. And yes, I keep track of those things. Font key, the key, has never been loaded at all. If I now run this, we'll still get it, could you? Do I need like this start here? Won't that also like just ah, has there been an error? Is there an error? Has there been an error this whole time? Configuration debug? Nope. .NET clean. Run it again. Weird. Yeah, and I don't fucking need those two things. Oh. That makes sense. We renamed the project. They want to get this thing add to the range right here. Then go into here. Where this thing is here. Load it. Or at least try to. Was not handled in code, in user code. Oh. Next thing, maybe also remember to and graphics. What the fuck are you talking about? Maybe I could actually also like make these ones like uppercase names. And probably also the texture manager and also font manager. So texture manager equals to new texture manager. Not with the graphics, but content. Down. And the same for the font. Graphics game. That one. That we don't really need the rendering system. And that one we also really don't need, but meh. Now, if we run it, we'll get an exception. Okay. Content player sprite does not exist. Have I forgotten how it was? Yes, I forgot how it was. Okay. Oh yeah. What did I say that one was again? Texture slash logo. And it's here where you're like just fucking up. The path should be correct. really wouldn't like to have my... Yeah, thank you. Now we got all of them. Pushy. Okay. That was not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. And that is... again an infinite loop. The content textures of I accidentally like that's something fucked them up. And yes, we are also building it. Texture importer and then texture. Same as down here, yes. Alright, let me just try. Tiles. Tiles. Okay, why? It's because it's on a different thread. Okay. This time at least we get something. Loaded a texture, that one, as PlaySprite. Gushy. Yes, it was because that it was on a different thread. Holy fucking shit. We can't even do threading. Damn. Anyways, that was... we can now load things easily. Then we just need... Then we just need a way to reference them. And actually also use them. That is where components come into play. We can make a texture E field, or that's not a field, but yeah. Why does this one need a transform? Oh, because of that. It needs to follow. Hmm. Okay. So we can make a right renderer. Or sprite renderer. Then make it. And actually also make his syntax correct. So yeah, texture key. That'll be player sprite. Sprite color will be white, and the component will be enabled. I also need to make a color, a standardized color type at some point also. Let's see. Rect And also I need to make a implicit thing to make it into a monogame rectangle. Offset, offset, offset. Yeah. A public static. Explicit, I think. Operator. Microsoft framework dot rectangle rect, or was it explicit? 2 seconds. They need to make it explicit, or was it? It is. Wow, damn! I'm actually like, yeah, mono rect. That's what I call them. Let them be value, location, and value dot size. I do believe. Don't I fucking also have like? Why don't I have things to go from? What is to there? I think that is a. I think that's a vector. Vector 2. Vector 2. Sometimes fucking frustrates me that I can't see what the hell is going on. Wait, so things, both of those are sizes? Both of those are points, yeah. A point 2 goes into a point also. And this is a point 2. Microsoft, their framework, point, and then a size. Should be also turned into a point. Down. Pretty much trying to eliminate as many of these references I possibly can in practice. Also make it. That could actually be a little bit funny, but no. Anyways, from entity.name, white, enable components. We have given that one. That's it. I just need to fully make sure that in the entry start here, the transform actually gets added and whatnot. Correct. Actually, maybe I should like just change this one. Why the fuck did I just change and make a new terminal? They're from in theory 2 points, but it's also not really 2 points. So point number 2. Now will you build? Yes. It also goes through here. Now we just need to make the things. In here, we want to have a list of raw commands. A bunch of raw commands. Raw game time. Then for each component in the actual components, thank you. Wanna check if a component is an I renderer component. Actually, was that is? The is I renderer component. Then render this, add range there, and return that one. Commands. Time. Then we can say renderer system for each CMD run. Let's submit. Right, that's how it was. Then we can say render. Before this, we also need to have a layer or two. So create layer. Actually, wait a minute, since we already have layers. Good morning. Nothing happened. Okay. That is nearly to be expected. What if I take this one's layer and like go into you here and then go into layer here, do layer 0, layer 1 actually. So what is wrong? I will nearly say that's because that we are using a 2D camera, 3D camera. Nope, okay. And debug. Submitting. It must need then be in render. This one works. You get 2. Alright, yeah, because there is 2. Good morning. And how many do we have? We have 0. What about you? Your game object? Just this one. Maybe add the component. Maybe add it. Just maybe add it a bit. Yeah, maybe. That this was that one here. We still don't have it. Question. Do you even do this? Right there. This for inch, this is for that one, this for this one. Add a transform component. Here. Layer 1, all this. Yes. We do got that. And then they all just disappear. Ah. Aha. Oh, yeah. Maybe think. Just thought maybe that would work. That's literally everything just goes wrong right now. But maybe that's also the intention. Okay, so in here, if we go under here, we have 2 components, yes. Then we can go under here. We can check through those 2 components, yeah. That one, and then this one hits. This one then does this. That's now because of transform. Therefore, each component in components. If component is T, then return component as T. Okay. Again, everything goes wrong. That's just how it goes sometimes. There, and then all the way to here. You should now be something, correct? And we're returning a big fat fucking array right there. There's no one else. We submit. We got the submission. We sort it. We generate that. We do all that. there's only one draw command, so that should be easy enough. We have this one, add player, add layer mask, add layer name layer. And yeah, the current index is not the same as the current index is not the same as the layer index right now. So we'll do this. We have this. We are using a 2D camera, so we'll do this. Those ones are now open. This one, we'll execute it. We have it filled. We'll do all that. Why? Like now, why? Do I need to say render system camera dot move 0, 0, 0 minus 10? Okay, in theory this should work, but it doesn't, but I don't fucking care. Transform the not position too deep, but just position is equals to. Why is that vector 2? Like, why is that? Why did you just do? Huh? Okay. It's 0, 0, 0. Like 0, 100, 100, 100, 0. No. Then now all of these get an engine context, meaning that the draw also now needs an engine context. Meaning that we need to give it an engine context. And there'll be many more, yeah. Why? That. And down. Well, anyways, fuck it. Actually, what did I do in the old engine? Their version. Engine subsystem, engine. Down here in raw. We get all of it. We do this, we do debugging, and then we render. That's it. Guess what we also do right now? The exact fucking same. with the camera we say, yeah, we did say camera 2D. Do we even move it at all? Nope. I am puzzled. I am just... I don't know why this is happening. We submit it, we do all of this. All this correctly. I don't know. Right, anyways, we can make this. We can ask ourselves, is texture key string is null or empty? If it is null or empty, then I want to do this. Else, we want to actually do something, aka make it a sprite. Equals to the engine context. Texture, get texture key. Most of this we can just borrow again. Except for build. Also want position here. Transform the position. Not implicitly convert from there to there. Okay. Okay. Now I may regret this at some point. But do you know what? It is totally worth it. 2. Back 2. 2 Vex 2. Rotation. I can't remember what. That was on one axis? Burnian. Hell of everything. Vector 2. active. Add a cast. New quaternion 0 0 0. Pushing? Yes, nope, okay. What if I make that one disappear? This does not make sense. Like, at all. You worked a few days ago. What if I rotate these two? Nothing. Okay. I don't fucking know. It could literally be anywhere. Oh, I should have fucking done that. I should have like just made it all anew. But of course I didn't. Ah. Eek. Yeah, bottom 100, center 100, 100. Normally it is bottom 100. Do you have a center? Nope, but yeah. It all pretty much looks the same. Yeah, what else they do like in the engine when doing this one? Nothing else. Just set the renderer to be 2D. And a 2D renderer sets the flips it, sets the camera, and returns. Raw quads and 2D. So wait a minute. We can. Oh. Yeah. First of all, we were doing the wrong path down. And also, yeah. That's pretty much that. But else the rest of it should like just work. We should have everything else filled out. Like within like the context at least. Let me see. View matrix. The view matrix is fucked. Huh. The view matrix was the camera. I remember I had... Oh, I had this before also. What the hell did I do there? Because yeah, we have this view matrix, because we can get the view matrix here. Which just needs a target, a position, and vector 3 that up. Now I think actually it is because that I used the wrong function. If I just do a normal position like this, no. Worth a shot. What if I flip these two? Nope, okay. If I really remove this... Nope. Okay, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Like... In theory, everything should work. But that's only in theory. In theory. In practice, everything doesn't work. Now when we return from this, we at least get something. We don't just get nan all the way through. Yeah, then when we get to here, camera position is there. I forgot to do that. And either way, we don't even use that. Is this one correct? Yeah. You're there, and you're there. I don't fucking know. It's black. It's fucking black magic. That's why. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't fucking know. It could be a lot of things, but it could also just be because they fucked some kind of calculation up. I don't even know myself. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'll be ending it for today. I'm tired, and yeah, I'll be live in 2 days again. I'll really quickly have to recover from this, so I'm going to take a break for real this time. Just so I can rest. Yeah, with that, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.